So welcome everyone. We'll just maybe take a few moments, 2 minutes more, and then we will start. Yeah, so hello everyone, I'm Monica, and we'll be talking today about the theme that's for today, the deepest allowance. So today's session is an invocation, a kind of a prayer that can we fall deeply in love with the place that we are right now. So we are often told that this emotion is negative, that emotion is negative, we should not be there. And using these second-hand concepts, we just find ourselves abandoned and lost. We cannot relate much with those concepts or theories. They may give us a very beautiful picture of a distant future. Yet I see that it's just so far-fetched because I am not there. So, can I use this opportunity to turn truly within and to tune into the space that I am in right now? This feeling of lack, the feeling that there is something wrong with me. I think all of us have known this feeling very closely. So, today's session is an invitation that can we just be with it because maybe it has some meaning to it. Maybe it has some message that it wants to give. And because I'm never present to whatever is happening to me right now, I just maybe keep on missing the message. So, can I just allow myself to tune in with me completely, fearlessly? Can I just allow myself to tune in with the space that I am in, with the raw movements of my being right now as they are? I may be experiencing a lack or maybe a feeling which can be called as anger or maybe a feeling which can be called as I don't know where I am right now, maybe feeling lost. And in the middle of all that happening, all these movements, can I just allow themselves to be there and not wanting to run away from those feelings because somebody or some spiritual teaching has told me that these feelings are not allowed. These are, they just are wrong movements in your being. And if they were so wrong, why would they be in the very first place? Why would all of humanity feel these movements if they were so wrong? So, can I just allow myself to be there with the raw sensations in my being without maybe even naming them? What is the need to name the feeling that I am having right now? What is the need to name the state or phase that I am going through right now? What is the need to name it? It's like a friend comes to me, and the moment I name that friend, or imagine that you're taking a walk in the forest, and you're maybe looking at a creature which is very interesting in nature. The moment your friend or someone names it, okay, this is called a bluebird. We think that we have known it and we know it. Oh, that's a bluebird, I know it. And that's how we usually take charge of our life. We think that we know what it is. We think that the moment I name a feeling called anger, the moment I name a feeling called feeling, I think I know it. And the very fact that I say to myself, I know it, there the exploration is dead. Life becomes a monotone. So this is today's session is an invocation that can we begin to live life, know life firsthand. Not living by concepts or theories about life, rather experiencing it through the live experience that I am having right now. If it's an experience of failure, let it be there. Can I know failure as if I am knowing failure for the first time? How is it to go through failure? if it's called rejection, can I allow myself to be completely drenched in rejection, what it feels to be rejected? Because rejection is allowed, it can be there, it's a visitor, it has come to meet me. Not trying to label it and trying to tell myself that I know what rejection is, because maybe I don't know, maybe I still have to explore. So kind of hanging in the maybe, not completely saying that I know what truth is, because I bloody have no idea what truth is. So this session, I thought of this session because very often we fall this into, this owing to the fact that we are reading so much, owing to the fact that we are listening so much, taking a chance to just drop all that baggage, that mental baggage of concepts that I have, of theories I have about life. This is how life should be lived, and I see again and again that I'm not yet there. And then this feeling of lack comes in, the feeling of there is something wrong with me, because I'm not that there where these the fantastical images of life are shown in pictures and images. I'm not there. So can I take this opportunity to just tune in deeply to whatever feeling and movement that I'm having today, right now in my being? Kind of a radical commitment, kind of a sankalp that I tell myself, yes, I am here with you. And there, something interesting happens, something which maybe I'm not even imagining, which is beyond my imagination. Because there, the moment I tune in with my state of being fully, I see that, oh my God, this is allowed. There is nothing wrong with that movement being there. There is nothing wrong with the sense of grief that I feel. There is nothing wrong with the sense of lack and void that is present. That void can be present in the everlasting space that I am. So, can we begin from there? Can we start from there? Because if I have to go on, maybe we all talk about moving on. How will I move on when I don't even know what my ground reality is? I want to go to, maybe America, to go to America, and I have to buy a ticket. So, can I buy a ticket from Jaipur to America while I'm in Delhi? It would not work. And the very fact that I become this allowing space that allows each and every moment in my being allows me to tune in with a deeper intelligence, an intelligence that does not depend on concepts and theories, an intelligence which is waiting for me to discover itself. And once I tune in to that intelligence, I see that the right action automatically emerges from that space. We often find ourselves looking for shortcuts. I find myself looking for shortcuts often, very often. That I am in a state of certain phase, and because I am so afraid of tuning in fully to my movement, I take a second hand concept or a theory and say, kind of console myself that okay, maybe this is the case, while the moment was an invitation for me to tune in completely in that raw experience that was happening in my life, so that I could be originally and truly myself. But I keep on missing these movements. And I see particularly that I need to be extremely vulnerable for me to tune into that movement. I need to abandon, to drop all concepts of myself that I have been holding so far. So it's an extremely vulnerable state. So, can I allow myself to be in that vulnerability, to be wide open, to be breaking apart each moment, to be in pain, in suffering each moment, to allow that suffering to be there? Because that suffering feels half dejected. That suffering wants to be there. It has maybe a message for me. But if it feels continuously half dejected, like as if it's doing a sin by being there. And if I am that awareness, the light of awareness, I talk to that suffering, I allow it to be there. I talk to it and I say, hey, suffering, you are allowed. You don't have to run anywhere. Stay as long as you want. Because the very fact that it is immersed in this consciousness, like we have this ocean, and in ocean we have innumerable waves that are there. So each wave is allowed to be there. The ocean is untouched by those waves, and yet the ocean is those waves at the same time. So just like that, being a vast ocean, can I not can I stop negating my own existence, saying that this is a wrong movement, suffering is a wrong movement, loss and pain and grief is a wrong movement, and this is not allowed? An ocean doesn't say that a wave is not allowed, because the ocean knows itself to be far, far, far more than the movement of waves. In that, there comes this rest. In the middle of all the restlessness of waves, there comes this rest, being the ocean I am, being in touch with that vastness, that yes, if all these movements are emerging, they must be allowed. And then I almost take a back seat. I become more like a witness, like a allowing space. And it's not that if I am an allowing space, then everything is allowed, in the sense that I will not be taking any action. It's not like that. In fact, what I see particularly happening is, the moment I am in deeper touch with my being and allowing all the play of the dance of movements, I see that I tune into a deeper reality from which a true action can emerge, an action which is not dependent on any theory that I have heard so far, an action which is not dependent on any concept that is on my head, an action which is more like an experiment in nature, an action which can actually lead me to failure also, but owing to the fact that even failures are welcome, I allow it to happen. I allow my intelligence to operate through me now, and so far as if I've been a stumbling block in front of my own work of intelligence, owing to the shortcuts I wanted to take. So can we allow to tune in to each and every raw experience that we may be having? We go through love, we go through pain, we go through expectations, we go through demands in our life. What is it to be in a, allowing a demand? How does a demand feel? How does an expectation feel? How does a loss feel when the expectation is rejected? How does that feel in my being? And to say to it that, hey, you are allowed. You can stay here as long as you want. You are not a sin that is happening. And then what I tune into is this deeper space from which an original action can emerge. while usually what is happening is a repetitive kind of a robotic mode of actions. And when a friend says something to me and I feel kind of a hurt, can I also allow that hurt to be there? And I see that there is so much fragility in that moment, because when I am allowing the hurt to be there, I am deeply fragile, yet I am deeply strong also. Both the movements are happening at the same time. I see that I'm something beyond all the images that I'm holding in my head. Somebody calls me a liar, and I see that I am a liar at times. Somebody calls me a deluded being. I see, yes, I am deluded being at many, many times. So what is wrong? All these labels are allowed, because I'm not holding on to any label in my life. My life is a continuous movement in itself, and it does not depend on any particular label that I want to hold on to. So maybe I can just drop all those labels at all. I don't need them. Allowing myself to be continuous movement in life. And then something really, something really new happens, in the sense I am rediscovering myself new each moment. I am redefining, recreating myself each moment. I'm not depending on an old identity. A kind of an unfoldment of life, I see it happening in front of me. So can I allow this new movement of life to be there? That yes, all is allowed, and I am a being in a becoming, and nothing touches me, yet everything is allowed to touch me. And I can allow this breaking apart, this falling apart, this pain and shattering to be throughout my life, because that doesn't define me at all. That is just a wave in this tremendous ocean of being that I am, and that is allowed for the very intelligence that it wants to manifest. Yes. I would also, today like to touch upon this grief that we feel, the pain or the loss in life. All of us are in touch with that pain in our own accord. To maybe kind of inquire deeply into this sense of loss that we feel. There is a person in life, or there is a particular situation in life, and we don't even realize that we start to have dreams about with that person. We start to create a reality with that person, and the moment now I see that the person does not exist, I feel this deep loss, deep void in my being. So it's like an invocation. Can I inquire into this void? What really is lost? Because that person who I feel is lost is still present in my thoughts, in my being. I feel that person in my being. So can I look into the very fact that maybe I imagined this a dream life with that person. I already, without my knowing, my mind had started imagining, creating a reality with that person. So what really is lost is not only the physical appearance of that person, but this loss of the whole reality that I created with that person in my imagination. That this is how it would be. This is how we will live together. This is how, the situations will be in my life. And this is a perfect life. So, as if without even taking permission from me, my ropes of imagination went so far, as if I created a whole reality in front of me without even me knowing it. And when I see that is not happening, I feel there is this sense of hurt, sense of loss, sense of rejection, which is there. And if I really tune in deeply to it, to this experience of loss, can I see that this is more a loss of a dreamt reality? That person is still there in my deeper being. When I think of that person, the person is there. When I dream about those moments, the moments are there. But what is lost is the dream that I had started to create with that person. Because the very reality of mind is that the mind knows this lack to be true, and then it creates castles over castles because it wants to fill that lack. And the moment that castle is broken, it is plunging much deeper into a sense of void. Oh my God, what has happened? Because it had put all the sense of completion, as if a completion is to be found in future once that dream will be fulfilled. And that keeps me always away from the raw experience that is right now calling onto me, knocking onto my door. Whether it's an experience of a deep lack. And it's such a big paradox that tuning in to that experience of deep void and deep lack, I tune in to my completion. Such a big paradox that we see there. That tuning in fully to my feeling of incompletion, allowing it to be there, sinking deeply into that feeling of a void, of a lack, I see that maybe there is nothing missing. And this feeling of being missing is also allowed. We are so quick, also, we see that we are so quick to provide, to ask our friends to move on, hey, move on, move on. Move on to where? As if we have in our minds this reality that we have created for ourselves, that this is what a perfect life is. And whenever we find a friend in deep pain, deep loss, deep grief, we want him to move on quickly. Move on to where? As if we know where he needs to be right now. And in doing that, I see that what we are missing on to is this beautiful gift of that experience, that grief that the friend is going through. To sink in the grief deeply and fully, to say to grief that grief, you are allowed. Because grief has come, appeared for a reason. I find myself that we often feel that we have answers to all the solutions of life. But I see that maybe we don't. Maybe we don't have any answers. And it's okay to not have any answers. That space of not knowing, that space of not trying to make any sense is an okay space to be. That space of a feeling of being really helpless about life is okay. It's allowed. The very fact that it has emerged into existence tells me that it must be allowed. If it was so much of a sin, how would it be even allowed to manifest in reality? So can we live deeply in this discomfort? Can I allow myself to be comfortable in this uncomfortableness? deeply, deeply rooted within, and allowing the discomfort to be there for as long as it wants. Because we are only told that only peace has a beauty, only beauty is beautiful, only fair is beautiful, only experiences of bliss and ananda are beautiful. And can we even ask, if only those were beautiful, then why on earth all the other movements exist? So, can I tune in completely to the beauty of so called negativity in life? Because as if it feels like negativity is it's what do you call it? Like a child which is not required, it's a non required child. Yet we see that we all have those negative movements in life. As if it's a child which is wanting to be loved, to be accepted. It was always abandoned. Negative experiences are always abandoned experiences. Even I myself do not kind of validate them, saying that it is negative, because people have told me that they are negative experiences, they should not be there. So why on earth are they there at all? Have I ever questioned? Have I ever sat intimately with them in a fearless manner? Just like maybe I at times I sit with a friend, allowing the friend to be there in whatever state the friend is. So, can I take this opportunity to be truly in allowance of the so called negative and ugly experiences in life? Because the very fact that they are there tells me that there is something to their existence. And when we allow the jealousy to be there, when I kind of begin to have a conversation with jealousy in silence, a hate in silence, with loss and grief in silence, when I don't keep on shooing away loss and grief, because the fact is that I feel it, the very fact is that I feel this pain, which is a reality for me. The friend that sits next to me may tell me that hey, move on from this grief, you have been there enough. But I see that the grief is not moving so far. The pain is still there, the suffering is still there. So why do I need to negate all these movements? Why on earth cannot I have an intimate relationship with this friend that has come to visit me in this hour, which is grief? And when I tune into grief, when I go to the depths of grief and pain, of loss of my dreamt vision of life, I see that that my life is not moving the way I wanted it to move. That helplessness, when I tune in deeply to this, sinking feeling that I am having right now, not resisting it at all, I discover something really, really beautiful through that passage which was appearing as grief or pain or loss or helplessness. They are all allowed. They are all allowed movements of life. I get in touch with this deeper, vast space and strength that I am, that can never ever be broken, no matter how many shatterings I may go through. And in that deeper space, all movements are allowed. All movements of feeling lost in life, of feeling that I don't have any answers, of feeling that I am a failure, is very, very much welcome and allowed. So, can I recognize and stop at being war with my own life. Because most of the times we are at war, there is this feeling emerging and I'm trying to shoo it away. There is this feeling of loss and I'm trying not to be there. I'm trying hard to resist it, as if I'm always at war with my own reality. The thoughts are coming, and a part of me says that, oh my god, these thoughts should not be there. These thoughts are sinful thoughts. They should not be there. As if there is always at a war going on, like a cold war going on with my own self against my own self. So can I stop being at war with my own self and let everything as if dance in this presence that I am? Be completely, truly alive to this raw experience called life. What is life if not for true experience like these? Is it only books? Is it only theories and concepts? Because those theories and concepts will always be there as a far fetched reality. I will never be there. So, can I tune in completely to where I am right now and allow my originality to manifest itself? My newness to unfold itself through me. Can I allow that to happen? Having said that, I just go on in a continuation. Just feel free to comment. We are a small group today. We can just make it into a different platform. So please, whenever you feel like sharing anything, any concern, any comment, any thought, just allow it to happen and unmute and share or type in the chat window. Yeah. Yeah, so we often, read in these interesting books, we often hear these talks about the fear is a negative feeling, doubt is a negative feeling. It should not be there, fear should not be there. And in that, I never meet fear completely. I never meet as if doubt completely. Yes, Preeti, would you like to share?
Yeah, I had read this quote. I mean, we keep reading it now, but now it makes so much more sense when it says that accept yourself the way you are.
Yeah,
So usually when I mean, I used to take it in a context where I used to teach the physical yoga asana. So I used to tell my students that it's okay if you're tight, and if it's okay if you're not so flexible.
yeah,
So accept yourself. So it relates in every other thing. It makes so much more sense
yes,
because only
yes,
then it will. I think it will kind of help you to step by step to keep
yes,
working on yourself and improving
yes,
yourself. Yeah.
yes, being in touch with the ground reality.
So, but
Yes,
first, it is very important to truly know yourself.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Moment by moment,
Yeah,
because,
without being judgmental, we keep
yeah,
saying कि दूसरे को judge नहीं करो, but सबसे
mm,
पहले तुम अपने आप को ही judge करते रहते हैं. It's so very
yes,
true. But
yes,
nobody talks about it, like
yeah,
so. It's nice to hear such things. Actually, it's
yeah,
very reassuring.
yeah, yeah. And even even I would say that the thing that you talked about, judgment, we take even judgment in such a sinful sense that, oh my god, why are you so judgmental towards me? And the very fact that you said that we ourselves are judging ourselves at each bloody moment. And can I even recognize the presence of this judgment in this moment, that yes, judgment is also allowed? Because the moment I allow judgment to be there, I see that yes, it's also a wave in the vast ocean that I am, and that it can be allowed, that it is not threatening my identity. My true identity cannot be even threatened by the so called judgment that I have towards myself. The very fact is, I just have to become subtly aware that yes, judgment is also there and it is allowed. The very fact that judgment exists must be for a reason. Who am I to judge the judgment itself? And then I see that there is a certain relaxed kind of an attitude comes that, hey, I am not trying to protect any image of mine. I am not trying to protect, any identity of mine, any image of mine. And I can be truly a fluid movement in time and space. There is no need to protect, and there is nothing that is threatening my identity. So even judgment there is welcome. Having an intimacy with even judgment, because we think that we know what judgment is, but maybe we still have to explore a lot of it. Just like we see that we hardly know our life as it truly is in each moment. As you were saying, we truly say that I truly know who I am? I cannot say that. So just like that, can I see that I know what judgment is? I don't even know for what it is in a deeper essence. So just questioning so deeply, so radically everything in life, that nothing is settled, allowing everything to be unsettled. And in that, I see that because I am allowing everything to be unsettled, I even allow myself to be unsettled in extreme phases, because I'm not trying to protect any image of myself which says, hey, I have read enough, I have done enough spirituality, I have lived enough life, now I am a settled being. So there is no image like that I am trying to protect. And in that, there is a deep relaxation, there is a deep rest that one kind of, steps back into. Yeah.
Charity begins at home. There's so many all these quotes, which
Yeah.
don't make sense till you really think on them.
Yeah. Yes. Beautiful. I often find myself, down on knees now more often than not, and I see that uh, it's a beautiful experience for me, that uh, I see more of this sense of a not knowingness, in life, that I don't know, and that's okay. Yes, Jasmine, would you like to share?
No, no, I was actually thinking, but
Please share.
nothing really.
Please share.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's just very beautiful experience as you're going through it. Like you said, all the feelings, the more you allow them,
Yeah.
it's almost like it shatters. Not going too much into words. It's almost like it shatters. It's like you say, it's a wave.
Yeah.
It's a different thing to say it, but it's very different to experience it.
Yeah.
And like Preeti said, we used to hear these quotes, but to actually experience it, to bring it in an experience, to go through it, it completely takes you to the depth of those quotes, the common
Yes.
quotes we heard.
Yes.
And like you said, it brings you down on your knees. It almost touches you so deep,
Yeah.
you know. Uh, Simple quotes, the subtleness, the deep, not the subtleness so much, the depth of it, the
Yeah.
simple words.
Yeah.
And it kind of op- opens you up in a beautiful way. It's a beautiful way, like you're much bigger than that. I
Beautiful.
don't know, it's hard to put into word, but to experience,
Beautiful.
it's a beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Beautiful.
you're right, you get so comfortable with not knowing,
Yeah.
you get so comfortable being not uncomfortable, and all the emotions that comes with it.
Yes.
And it's almost like you are shattering what you're not,
Hmm.
and you're going closer to what you truly are.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Mm.
Beautiful. Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. No, uh, I see that often we are just, maybe it's our conditioning, I don't know what it is.
It
We are
is
often trying
conditioning.
to, we are often trying to fix ourselves, as if there
Yeah,
is nothing.
there is such a deep level of conditioning, and that's what I call it. It's almost like an onion. We keep peeling, we keep peeling. Like
Yeah.
today, where I am, I think, of course, I'm deeper than what I was yesterday.
Yes.
But as I go more and more deeper, there is more to it, definitely. And
Yeah.
you, and as you, I think, do you stay in that state more and more,
Yeah.
you realize how much like the deeper वो कहते हैं ना सूक्ष्म level की जो तुम्हारी conditioning है, you realize the
Yeah. Yeah.
subtle level, you
Yes.
start realizing that,
Yeah.
and slowly it shifts you inside out. And I'm seeing that now.
Yeah.
It's And it in itself answers all the questions. You say
Beautiful.
that stay with the confusion.
Beautiful.
Well, confusion can a mind wants to just conclude it, get it,
Mm.
because that's the usual way.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
But really, I would like to ask. So initially, especially when you're in this state,
Yeah.
it's all it socially. It feels like almost कुछ बात करने के लिए नहीं है.
So true.
you know,
Right.
I mean, I've had that problem. Like I can generally talk, but वो एक gossiping होती है या एक वो
Yeah,
करती
you're
है, वो
right.
इतनी
You're right.
meaningless लगती है. So it's almost like people think you're antisocial, right, Taru?
Yeah, yeah. With you. Yes, yes. Very much. Yeah,
So it almost feels like that.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
mm,
It's, as if, Jasmine, it's as if you're allowing yourself to be reborn again and again.
exactly. It does feel like it
Yeah,
actually that I always say the rawness of life, feel the rawness of life, and it's amazing you use that word. And I thought, at least in your common day-to-day life, I actually thought no one really understands that when I
yeah,
say the rawness of life.
yeah.
uh, but it is beautiful, and actually it's almost like once you see it you can't unsee it either. So
Beautiful. Yes,
yeah,
yes. Yeah,
so just keep going that way.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I think it's really nice what you said that, that earlier I used to, maybe, we used to be a certain way. And now, as you are opening up to a deeper you more and
Mm,
more, you see that your conversations change. You cannot chatter
mm,
that much. And that's
mm.
okay. And that's okay, because as if,
And yeah, that's okay too.
the snake is, uncovering its newer layers. So it has to shed
Mm,
off the older layers,
mm.
and it's completely fine. All of that is allowed, and then life becomes a continuous unfoldment. It's like an adventure.
That's true.
I don't even know what my deeper layers are going to reveal to me.
That's true. It's kind of raises like a curiosity, like what,
Curiosity,
like,
yes, yeah,
yeah, it's almost like I don't know. It's almost like I'm almost witnessing myself in a weird way,
mm,
like what rather than having those preset, uh, preset reactions or mind made up or this is how it's going to be. I mean, so much of sort of peace and silence in a
mm,
beautiful way. It's
mm,
almost like nothingness.
mm,
But it doesn't feel empty. That's the thing. It
mm,
almost feels whole, but
mm,
don't think it's whole. It's
yeah,
in beautiful way emptiness, but it feels whole.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think this is the beauty of kind of embracing each and every facet of life as it presents itself, not
Mm,
negating any so-called negative, ugly, kind of phase of life or movement of life, because we are so
mm,
good at partitioning. The mind is so good at division
yeah,
that it
yes,
wants to create boxes in life. And life is a
so true,
continuous flow, like humongous flow of Ganges. It cannot be put into words. And
so true.
the mind fails again and again, yet again the mind fails, because it cannot put into words, as yourself are saying that I cannot put into words, because it's so hard
Mm,
to put
mm,
into words these experiences, and yet we are
mm.
able to do at times, and at the other times maybe not. Yeah. So it's
And not
beautiful to see this movement where the mind says, maybe takes a back seat and says, okay, I don't understand it, and that's
yes,
okay, that's allowed. Yeah, yeah, what were you saying?
yeah, it almost
It's
feels
so
like
interesting to
mind.
hear.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, out of curiosity, I have a question. Jasmine, what profession or some are you into? I mean, just or whatever.
Oh, what
Because
profession? I
I experience the same thing, and I'm just trying to understand that. It's nice to know there are so many people who are kind of enjoying this silence and the wholeness.
I
And
know it's
just
the
wondering,
same
just
thing. Yeah, same reason I'm here, Preeti. I usually normal, usual, our social people think we're crazy. To
yeah,
be honest,
yeah, the mind
I
gets
mean,
so
like,
tired of
क्या बोल रहे
listening
हो? It
and
doesn't make
talking. You
sense
just
what
want
you
to be
talk.
quiet.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes even if I don't know, sometimes when you explain that reasoning, I'm in a better place now because I don't think I understood myself better. But profession wise, I am in, I did my commerce, so I'm right now staying at home,
Okay.
but
No, I
I've
was just
always
it
been
was just a
interested.
curiosity
Yeah.
to understand, because
But talking about you, you mentioned
so
yoga.
many
So
people in this group, and thanks to Monica, I mean, we are meeting each other in a way, but I hope that we remain, like,
yeah.
um, we
But
see
Preeti,
more
I
of
did
us
yoga
in the
too.
society.
So
Okay.
in my yoga, my teacher, and I did yoga teacher training last year. But in yoga, there, my teacher used to say, when you're at that discomfort, stay with that discomfort. Comfort, stay at that
Mm,
edge for a little bit
nice.
longer.
Yeah.
Physically, I'm
Beautiful,
saying that,
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
and
It's only
that
when
was
we
very.
are in some way introduced to such,
Oh,
um, mm, what should I call them? Only then
I
we kind
understand
of
what you're saying.
some yeah it only
I
hits
understand
some
what you're
people.
trying to
Some
say.
people just carry on with their lives the way it is, but it's so nice. Yeah.
Um, that's what I've been kind of exploring. I think that's what took me to actually studying yoga. But there is and Monica, this was my going to be my question. There's, when
Yes.
you're not in that state, when you're just a regular, there is a physical aspect to it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost like what physically it brought me, it turned me inwards in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Physically turned me
No,
inwards. The yoga,
definitely.
that's
I
what.
always that's why
Mhm.
I used to say, I've said it before also, that because it's very gross, your body, you can
Yeah, it's
feel,
very
touch,
gross. Yes, yes,
move.
yes.
Yeah, so that is
Yeah.
something. Then now if we can go a little more in to our mind and
Mhm.
emotions, like, and yeah,
See,
sometimes it
intellectually, I
takes a lot of
understood
time.
these. Yeah, intellectually, I understood these things. It was all like in mind in a way. It was all intellectualizing it. But to bring it in the experience, and slowly, it's almost like you taste it and you want to go more and more. And when you get the taste, and I think that's where how I ended up here. So, my other
And
question,
like you were just saying that in a party when you suddenly go quiet. Yeah, I
mm,
was sharing with Monica also the other day that people, just start looking at you and say, "Is something wrong with you? Are you
yeah,
okay?"
and if they almost think you're getting bored, and it's not even
And
like I'm
yeah,
getting
they corner
bored.
you so badly. Want to just it's
Even that
fun.
does has stopped bothering
But at
me.
that time it's not hilarious. It's like, oh my God, I feel cornered.
I think it takes time for you to even adjust to your, as your inner, I think adjust to the outer. It takes time. So,
Yeah.
um,
वो ही फिर कहते हैं ना, धीरे धीरे आपकी संगत वैसी हो जाती है फिर.
yeah,
Then you will make
yeah.
choices
And you
and
know
then you
what?
will like
Like Monica says,
avoid.
everything is allowed. Like संगत कैसी है कैसी फिर वो I think किसी level पे इतना impact. Obviously, this some way तो
Yeah,
तुम्हारी choices है.
that's
Somewhere if you have family, then you have no choices, right?
yeah,
Family
true
को क्या
that.
करो? But yeah. So my other question was the other way around, Monica. So,
Yes. Yes, Jasmine.
I know you had an illness too,
Yeah.
and I have, you know, kind of had chronic pain and all that throughout my life. But is this the reason for our eventually how our diseases manifest, or our illnesses or pain, physical part of it manifest and disappears too? Because I'm actually doing better physically.
Yeah. Jasmine, I would
Mm,
say that I really don't even know myself in the sense what really causes, because there are so many angles,
factors.
you
Yeah,
know,
so many factors.
so many factors associated. And
Yeah.
yet, this can be really one of it. Yes, you're
Mhm.
right. And still, I cannot say that this is truly it. You know,
No, I'm not saying it's truly it, but
yeah,
definitely it is one of the
it
factors.
is
It's
one of the
almost
factors.
that,
Definitely,
yeah,
definitely. Yeah, yeah,
it does impact you. Okay, let's not even put it disease wise, but it
yeah.
does impact you physically, right?
I would say why not? Because we
Mm,
are
mm,
connected. Our mind, feelings, and body, they are all interconnected. So
mm,
if something is happening at the mind level, feeling level, how can it
mm,
not impact the body? So yeah, in that
mm.
sense, definitely, there's a strong, strong connection. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, we've heard that stress has all these, stress can be a big factor and all. But then if we really see, even children sometimes have diseases and something, so, but children are by nature carefree.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So,
saying, Preeti,
so
that
it could
there
be any
cannot
factor.
be,
It could be
yeah,
genetic
there's so
or
many
something. Yeah,
factors.
yeah.
There's so
We
many
don't even.
factors.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yeah. We think, the moment we try to understand ourselves deeply, it's the mind that takes us again and again away from us. And one has to be really very, very cautious, because mind lives in images, but we are not an image. So even when we are on this path of truly uncovering, deeply uncovering layer by layer ourselves, I particularly see that the mind again and again wants to create a distinction between me and those other people, as if I am someone special and those people don't know maybe that much. So this is something which is again a mind game, and can be again be in recognition of this aspect of mind, that it's nothing but again a trap that I kind of keep on falling again and again too. And being truly honest to just my own movements of life, because the moment I keep on talking about other people or other people as a different breed, I see that it's a trap. It's a very, very big trap that one can get on into. And I personally just have so much to discover within myself, that how on earth can I say that now my work is done, I have peeled all my layers, and now these are the people who don't understand me, or cannot fathom what I truly am. So let us also, as we were discussing earlier, try to be truly kind of grounded in our reality, that uh, no matter how curious I may become to my own movements, there'll be much deeper reality to even those movements which I think I have understood. Right? So just kind of an invitation to uh, take a pause and you know uh, be grounded in our own truth, rather than again and again kind of scattering ourselves there and here. Yeah.
That's so true. The ego takes over so quickly, and again, in such a subtle way, you don't even realize it.
We don't realize. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It's a very
It
slippery.
is a continuous thing, you know. It's a continuous uh, uh, kind of practice, because you think you reach. It's not somewhere to reach, you know. It's not
Yeah.
like you reach the state and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's what the challenge is.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, using hurt, using pain, all of them as movements and signals in life, because they all have a signal. They Every time a movement happens in my being, it has a signal for me. So the more tuning in I am doing within, deeply in touch with myself, I see that I can allow them to be like a friend, and then let it unravel itself in its own due course of time, not wanting grief to run away from me, not wanting pain or even hurt to run away from me, because that also has something to share with me. It wants the room, it wants some space in my room, that the room that I call myself. And can I just let it be there, and not kind of be in a hurry to reach some other place in future, right? Being right here right now. And in that, it's not that I'll be just allowing every kind of bullshit to happen to me, not like that. It's just that a deeper action will emerge when I am deeply truly in touch with myself. The quality of action now will be different. It will not be a copied action. It will not be an action coming out of a theory or a concept. It will be an action coming out of my deep intelligence, which has brought me here today. So allowing that unfolding, unraveling to happen. Yeah. Even when shame is there, we often have these feelings of shame and guilt, that I have these wounds, or maybe no one else has that. everyone else has so much beauty in their life, only I am struggling with these wounds. So even allowing the wounds to be there, allowing the shame to be there, because the moment I am allowing the shame to be there, I see that I am something bigger than the shame. I am something bigger than guilt. I am something bigger than loss, grief, and pain. They can all exist in harmony with my truest vastness. And it takes a lot of courage to allow that to happen, because I personally see that we are not able to allow these movements in our life, owing to the fact that always there is this running to some other place than this place where I am right now. Yeah. And in that allowance, that running stops. In allowance, I don't want to be anywhere else uh, in a hurry to reach a better place. I am trying to find the better place right now, here, in this so-called sinful experience, on an ugly experience. Because whenever we go to the depth of any experience, we find rest and peace there itself. We don't have to run anywhere. And that's what is the beauty of each and every raw experience, as we were talking about. Yeah. Yes. And again, we begin to try to seek permanence here also, that if this state I have experienced once, oh, it should come again and again, then again the mind game starts. That's also amazingly funny. Yes, Jasmine. Yeah.
When even with the idea of permanence, um, we get so caught up. I sometimes feel like, how you say everything is allowed. There are so many, even when you start reading, like, say, spiritual books and all that, there is so much of these things. What's permanent? Soul is permanent. I think, um, I don't know, you get caught up in these,
We get caught up. Yes.
definitions,
We
so
get
much
caught up.
in that,
Yeah. Yeah.
even the fact, like, I know it, I don't know if we are a soul or not, but it is to say, I would say, like, it hasn't come into my experience. What is it? What is it?
Yeah.
But when you are in this state of deep allowance, which you say, and it's
Yes.
almost like you almost get still. It's almost like you're not seeking anything.
Beautiful. Yes.
And
Yes. Yes.
obviously it's not the end of it. It's uh, I don't know, even all these words and all these questions
Yeah.
disappear.
Yeah. Yeah. For example, even if it was the end of it, how does it matter? How does it
Yeah,
matter? Yeah.
yeah. It's almost like it doesn't matter.
It
It's
doesn't
just so
matter.
beautiful in its own. Yeah, the
Yes.
rawness is actually beautiful,
Yes.
in its own way. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Then impermanence also, becomes like a friend, because uh, even
Mm,
impermanence is allowed, the change is allowed, the
mm,
fleeting feelings of feeling sometimes stillness, feeling not stillness,
mm,
they're all allowed
mm.
in this space. And then, as you said very truly, that there is this seeking that comes to an end, at least in that phase, that moment.
Yeah.
You're not seeking something outward, external of yourself. Yeah.
And sometimes inward too. Your mind takes you into
Yes,
circles.
yes, yes,
That's
yes.
the tricky part.
Yeah,
Mind takes you in circle,
yeah,
in all those. I don't know, theorizing the stuff and putting into words and
yeah,
trying to kind of, I think, label and make sense of things.
yeah,
I think I really think words sometimes are a poor translation. It's a
yeah.
way the mind, traps you.
Yes, very
Uh,
true. Yeah. Mm. In fact, I've been thinking, maybe uh, I've been taking these Saturday sessions for long now. I was thinking maybe, as you're saying, words are not enough. I was thinking maybe I should, yesterday only, I was thinking that I should actually be done with that, and I maybe change the format or something, maybe make it into a different kind of a space. I think I uh, maybe
my
need to
question,
brainstorm on it a bit. Yeah.
uh, my question to you is, how did you get here? Like initially, or say for a person who's not,
Get where?
in that. uh, to this understanding,
Which
or to
understanding?
this. We're talking about deep a lot. See, that's what I'm saying. But what I mean is, how they say we meditate or we sit with ourselves,
you
and
know
it's
yeah, so I would say it's not any place that I'm here, or
yeah.
I
No,
understand where you
I
are.
know what
Yeah,
you. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No, I don't mean by place, but what I mean is, initially, like how I said, yoga helped me to physically kind of calm my body down, and then it
yes,
was easier to calm my mind down.
yeah,
And sitting in silence and meditation helped me initially too.
yes, yes,
So, um, honestly, once you're in this, when kind of know this feeling, this
yeah,
deep, like allowing it to be there,
yeah,
staying
yeah,
in that presence,
yeah,
you can do it doing anything,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But do you take out time for that silence just to kind of go back to it during the day, which we
uh
can call meditation, not in a typical way meditation?
Yeah, I would say
um,
it's like parallelly. Sometimes we need more still time, sometimes I need more times separately, but I think it's a parallel movement going on. Like
yeah,
allow for allowance, I don't need to sit in a corner
yeah,
and ask
exactly,
myself to allow. Allowance is
yeah,
parallelly happening. I
yeah,
feel a breaking or shattering in my being, and i
yeah,
i see that yes, I can be allowing it. It's okay for the shattering to be there. So I would say it's a parallel movement that goes on throughout the day,
yeah,
throughout the night. Yeah.
yeah.
And many a times one also needs like a separate time, that
Yeah,
we.
sometimes you think
Yeah.
sometimes you go even deeper, just sitting,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Yeah. So Taru, I was
yeah.
sharing with Preeti and Jasmine that maybe we can, for long I've been taking these Saturday sessions, and I would maybe like to explore something new, or maybe change the format a little bit, because I feel just there is too much of words that I use nowadays, and maybe I would like to kind of challenge that also. So, any suggestions on what kind of a platform shall we have? Maybe like a dialogue or kind of an inquiry session. I don't know. It's like or maybe an open session, open to any organic movement. Yeah. So please share whatever you feel would be helpful, or would be, kind of welcomed by those of us who are on this journey. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, she
Yeah.
just said okay.
Yeah. She
Okay,
usually says that to me. Yeah. Okay is something I hear from Taru very often.
that's another way of
And
deep
that's allowed.
allowance, right? Everything is okay. um,
Yeah.
I think I personally don't mind like a bit of not a typical meditation, but bit of medication. Not medication, sorry, meditation. It's
Yes.
5 o'clock here, so
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a really early morning. I kind of like this quietness,
Yeah.
but I think it'd be nice to bring up. I know it's not. Or we could be, because this is my first time too, and you have probably done a lot of sessions, but we do have this understanding, but there are always this day to day kind of things that are going on.
Mm-hmm.
So for the participants, it's a good way because as we are on our journey, so I
Yeah.
could be it could be outwardly, it could be taken as physical aspect, but sometimes we are kind of it's going in our background, and until we sit with it, you know
Yeah.
um it it like we don't get that time sometimes to kind of still, like you said, it goes on parallel, it does
Yeah.
goes on parallel throughout our day,
Yeah.
but to sometimes just sit, have that separate time, it takes you even
Yes.
deeper,
Yes.
it kind of brings that clarity.
Yeah.
So it'll be nice to if even if you want to make it shorter or longer, like
Yeah.
do sit in that silence and then see what comes up, and
Yeah.
not going too far,
Yeah.
just maybe going to just the day, the right now what comes up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Okay. Okay.
I'm open to that, but I'm open to anything,
Yes. Yes. And
honestly.
thanks
Yeah,
for your
yeah,
suggestion. Yeah. I'll
yeah.
maybe think over
I'm
it.
sure you
Yeah.
guys might because you guys have been doing it for so long,
No,
so I
not
don't
that
know.
long actually. It's pretty new. It's
Oh,
not many. It's not even a year completely. So
yeah.
I think, and all every session and all the sessions have been happening very, very, as per required. And it's truly that we can change any form, we can give it any new form, and uh, try
Because
new things.
there's so much to talk. I mean, even though it's yes about this experience, there's not many words to talk about,
Yeah.
but then we do live in that outward reality, and
Yes.
that's
Yes.
what takes it out of this, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes when we're having these conversations, sometimes I say things out loud and then it kind of answers me, it gives me the
Hmm.
answers in itself. But
Okay.
it's just that on my own or otherwise I don't really sometimes get to it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody else would be interested in something like that. And topics, like I said, there are so many topics like
Yeah. Yeah.
relationship, family challenges,
Yes.
kids,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
so many things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes going through that brings helps you with this deep allowance too, because you get so
Yes.
caught up in that. Sometimes you just get caught up in one emotion, and like I
Mm.
said, like you said, deep allowance help, but sometimes you just get caught, and that's okay too. But see,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
kind of answers all the questions I was
Yeah. That's okay
seeking.
too.
But
Yes. Yes.
yeah, but
That's
for
what we
even
were,
for conversations,
we were talking earlier, that as if, we are just always trying to fix things, so for
yeah,
example,
fixing.
an emotion has come, as you said, that we are so many times,
No,
we are just caught up in emotions, and
mm,
as if something in me wants to fix that emotion up, and something in me wants to say that, hey, how bloody you are here, you are not allowed.
mm,
And that is
mm,
where I think I get caught up, because when
mm,
I'm deeply allowing that emotion to be there, there is
mm,
nothing that I can be caught up with. The ocean
mm.
cannot get caught up with the waves.
That's true.
It can
So
only
we
get
move.
caught up with the waves when it is trying hard. Oh my god, how, oh wave, how are you here, you cannot be here, you cannot be here. Only
Mm.
then I can get caught up. So
So we move.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we move from fixing to understanding it, right? In the simplest way.
Fix,
Like
yeah, yeah,
instead of
fixing
fixing it,
to
let's move to
exploring.
understand,
Yes,
exploring it. Yes,
exploring,
exploring it. Yeah,
experiencing and
thing. Yeah,
understanding. Yeah,
thing
yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah,
Drenching ourselves wet in
yeah,
that raw
yeah,
experience of that
yeah,
emotion. Not saying that I have understood what fear is.
yeah. Yes.
Because if I have understood what fear is, the whole humanity is going through fear, and I bloody have
Yeah.
understood what fear is. What arrogance. What
Yes.
arrogance is that? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And you
Like
know,
you said
like
that
is
you've been doing it for an year, but I
Almost, yeah.
am
I
so
think
new. I have not heard most of the talks. Maybe you could just go back and see if you like to repeat some. That's okay, I think.
so actually, Preeti, all of our sessions, most of sessions, like which are open sessions, they are on our YouTube channel, which I
oh, they
keep on
are
sharing
okay.
from time
Oh.
to time. We have covered many, many topics, depression, starting from illness and health, and desires, and love, decoding love, and Kabir, we have
Hmm.
taken many times. All of those sessions, which were open sessions, are available on YouTube channel. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Mm, yeah. Yes, Taru, would you like
Okay.
to share anything, or are you okay with the okay?
Was coming. I couldn't get.
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said there's nothing that's coming to me right.
Okay.
I can barely hear you, I think.
She said, there's nothing that is coming to me right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that is okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. This running is so common to us human beings, that no matter wherever we find that, oh, yes, now that this feels okay. And the next moment I see that, I find again myself as if running for completion somewhere, as if something is wanting in me to get completed through something external. And I see that very often, it's like a very common phenomenon that happens with us. And the moment I tune in to that raw sensation that I'm going through right now. For example, even when I become available to, yes, this is this running in me, again there is this wanting to go outward and find completion somewhere. And if I can be available to that feeling of running, even that kind of has something deeper than the face value that it shows to me. So there is this part of me which wants to run outside, and can I deeply be in embrace with that part that wants to run outside, not trying to say that you should not be there.
Yeah, so when it comes from internally, it comes with more clarity and connection.
Yeah,
Like you said, no, something like from external, maybe it seems like you want to change because of some external factor or some conditioning. But when it comes from deep within, I think it's more
yeah,
clear because you have understood the whole thing and then you have.
yeah, yeah. Almost, a kind of witnessing this running outside. If something in me wants to run outside, as if it will get something, it will feel much better. And if we can be just witnessing that running also, because that is a fact of our human reality, this running, this restlessness. And if I can just be there with that restlessness, not trying to change it, to fix it, to kind of put it in a better place, just being there with the restlessness that I am in this moment, that itself I feel is really magical, because that is my present experience. And I'm not trying to run away from it. I'm not trying to make myself feel better because this feels so worse. The very fact that restlessness feels worse is that we are, as we were talking earlier, Jasmine was saying that we become caught up in that. And maybe that caught up is also necessary for us to experience that, what is it to be like, caught up in emotions. Because if I don't understand that yes, I can be caught up in emotions too, how would I understand when a friend is sharing that I feel so caught up? So this, all these movements, I feel they strongly connect us deeply with other human beings also. Because if I am not in touch with how it feels to be caught up in an emotion so deeply, how would I relate to a person who is now sharing with me, friend, I just feel so caught up? And all these raw movements, the more I become available to them, not wanting to shoo them away, I see that they deeply connect me to a deeper reality, to a deeper oneness, almost to a whole humanity, because these are so common movements of our being, common to the mankind in general. This is nothing special that is happening to me, and yet it is truly special. So we are ordinary, yet extraordinary in our own sense, in our unique way. So yeah, this, I felt that maybe this is, you know uh, felt like a prayer originating out of my own movements which I have been going through in life, that uh, all of this can become a raw material for life. This is life. I don't need to run away from this very fact of life, and let the next step come out of this deeper intelligence that I wake up to when I get deeply in touch with myself, to allow that baby step to happen. Yes.
Very beautifully put, Monica. Very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for joining in, everyone. And maybe we'll just come up with something new very soon for Saturdays, or I don't know what emerges. So thank you for tuning in. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you,
Thanks.
everyone. Have a good
Thank
weekend.
you. You
Bye.
too. Bye bye.